Am I live? Nah, I'm kidding. I'm definitely live. Once again, we do not yet have an intro, but I think we have the perfect thumbnail image for today's live stream, as this is an equipment experimentation stream. And what we have in store for you guys today, well, give me 2 seconds to double check some settings, make sure I have the chat window up, and we'll get this show on the road. There we go. Excuse me. So as you can see, to my right, I have a Lord of the Rings Blu-ray. To my left, I have 2 boxes for the Victory Gundam, which are not quite related to what we have to do today. Actually, it is a task on the list of things that need to be done. So we're going to begin with the work that we have at hand. I finally bought the 4K editions of Lord of the Rings, and these are actually both editions, the theatrical release and the cinematic releases. And so what we're going to do is I need to put it in my movie library, and this is not an endorsement for, making copies or bootlegging or anything like that. I mean, people are going to choose to do that. People are going to have their justifications for riding the high seas. But in this case, this is more like, well, literally for personal consumption. In fact, it is argued, and it has been argued legally in the past, that individuals do have a right to make backup copies of their VHS tapes and, by extension, DVDs and things of that nature. Certainly with audio CDs, there's precedent to indicate as much. That being said, the industry will, every time they come out with a new video format, they will and have always tried their darndest to thwart copying. And I don't blame them. I mean, I kind of do at times. Like the music industry, it's like, they're like really, not giving like the fair share to the artist in some cases, although you can argue that, the cost of promotion and all of that matters too. In this case, however, I just want it in my digital library, because here's the fact. Streaming it on Netflix or wherever the heck people stream things today, you're not guaranteed the same consistent bit rate. You're not guaranteed that you're going to get the same high quality experience. You might stream it on a day when your internet is slow or where they're bogged down with a lot of users streaming at the same time, and you get like a pixelated blocky image. I remember when my friend first tested out his 4K TV, he was streaming like Planet Earth, and was a 4K resolution stream, but it was like 15 frames per second. So technically they met their obligation to give you, to give you this high frame rate. They met their obligation there. But other than that, they didn't meet the obligation. They didn't make any obligation to maintain a high frame rate. They only, so bottom line was like physical media was the name of the game at that point in time. But the thing is, and what's up, Lady Mist? Good to see you. And for anybody else tuning in, thank you for tuning in. The other thing is, I want the freedom to like start a movie in my bedroom and maybe finish it at the kitchen table. Maybe I have a, box set of a cartoon, a Japanese anime series, and I want to watch a few episodes in the kitchen. I want to watch some episodes in the den or living room, and I want to watch some of it in my bedroom. Maybe I even want to stream it to my cell phone. And I know a lot of people will utilize this capability to potentially, share it with their family and, create their own personal Netflix. And, that's their choice. In my case, I don't think my server would handle it. I think my server would, freak out if I started doling out links to people. So it makes my life a little easier by not sharing. So bottom line is, yeah, I'm just looking to make a backup copy of Lord of the Rings on 4K. So the plan is to copy it to my computer using an application called Make MKV. And I can't even see my screen. Yeah, this thing right here. And what's cool is, well, it didn't see the Blu-ray disc. I put it in, it couldn't read the Blu-ray disc. And this is what happened to me like 2 weeks ago when I first bought the movie or the set. But then I realized right after putting it in my Blu-ray drive, I did a little Googling, and I found out that 4K UHD and HDR Blu-ray releases are on larger discs. They are on Blu-ray or BDXL disc, Blu-ray disc XL. And so Blu-ray XL disc is a little bit higher capacity than the previous type of Blu-ray disc. And so instead of 100 gigs, you can now do 128 gigs per disc. And this is like, I think, assuming either like I think it's a triple layer disc, yeah. So you basically have like 100 gig and 128 gig Blu-ray triple layer, and I think the 128 gig is your Blu-ray XL disc. And for data storage, it's still more economically feasible to buy hard drives in duplicate if you're backing up data. But you could buy something called an M disc, and an M disc basically has like something similar to stone on the Blu-ray disc. And they say it'll last you 1,000 years. You know, I don't know if that's true. I can't really test that out. But anyway, we're going to do this in a moment. So what's our goal here? Well, this app was kind enough to tell me that this thing needs the firmware to be flashed. Like basically, I can do what I need if I patch the firmware. So believe it or not, we actually have to go downgrade the firmware. And so as much as I wanted to buy like a $300 Pioneer Blu-ray drive that was pimped out, they go out of their way to like make it not easy to downgrade without going insane. I mean, they make you, it gets complicated. So we went with the LG drive, and the LG drive was like $60. So if I could flash this and it does what I need to do for $60, I'm a happy camper, because all I want to do is copy the movie to my computer and then run it to a video encoder to compress it a little bit while maintaining quality, get the file size down, do it, you know, something to make it efficient, and then put it in my personal digital library. That's all I want to do. But what we're going to do right now is say hi to the Iceman. How you doing, Iceman? Thanks for dropping by. So that's number one. But, you know, I'm going to give you guys something fun before I proceed with that process, because I don't think anybody wants to really see firmware being flashed. So instead, I'm going to show you how I broke my Gundam. Actually, I can show you two things. I'm actually going to show you two things that are cool. So let me just get a picture up on screen. Flagship Hyperion, Legend of the Galactic Hero. So I'm very, very proud of some work I did recently. So if you watched the anime series or animated series, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, this is the ship. And I'm going to open up a few examples of it. One of them from the animated series, and another one that is like this one here. I think this one's good. I saw one example that was like really good for like demonstrating like the quality of the model I have in front of me. That should do the trick. So here we go. Okay, so that's the ship from the side view. That's an, oh god, that's super low resolution. There we go. And this is like a digital model, which unfortunately is not really what you see in the animated series, but I think you can see the resemblance. Okay, so just trust me that what you see here is the same as this. And if I could find another picture, I would. But now I want to show you the work I've done. So a long time ago, I've 3D printed this ship. And as you can see here, I painted it in the correct shade. And that was interesting. I mean, obviously we need to do one more coat. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what I've done, because I was able to mix blue, green, and white paint to get the correct shade, or something resembling the correct shade of green. So that's what we got here. We used brown acrylic to get the you know, launch bay and all of the machine spaces in. And then, you know, we did a little sand and kind of cleaned it up. I had to put some putty up here to tighten up the antennae. So let's talk about the antennae, because this is what I'm proud of doing here. Okay, so let's go back to my desk. So you got, now this is interesting. These antennae are on a slight angle, but in some examples they are poking straight up. So I opted to make them poke straight up because that is the example I saw, and I hope I got that right. I hope I didn't mess it up. I'm going to assume this guy did it out of, you know, maybe like poetic license or stylistic, whatever. Okay, so those antennae do poke to the side a little bit, it looks like now, which is a little disappointing. So what I did was I ended up replicating somebody else's model and potentially ruining mine a little bit. No, see, look, that's the one I got. So you see they're poking straight up over here. Granted, that's actually the 3D model, I think. Well, here's another one that kind of poking straight up over here. So I'd say that one's not terribly accurate anyway. That's the Minecraft version, so I don't think we can really, you know, judge my work against the Minecraft version because that's Minecraft, and Minecraft is blocky. I wish we had more pictures of this on here. I mean, this is like not enough. And I know, like, if I put the cartoon on, I'll get copyright claimed and I'll find a good picture. I mean, that one's so close. They're just all low resolution. Boy, oh boy. All right, let's just get to this. So bottom line is that this is what I did yesterday. I sat down with a cigarette lighter. Today I have a candle if I need to do more. And I just heated up these brass rods, holding them with something like a piece of aluminum foil to, you know, insulate my hand. And I stabbed them into the PLA while they're hot. And you can see how, like, the 3D printer does do antennae or cylinders, but it can be a little complicated because, you know, it's like, it's just anything skinnier than this, it would not get done right. Now, if we look at the aft section in a larger model, you can actually see that these two antennas here actually got printed. They're a little cockeyed, but they're printed. So we have some success over there. This one's going to need, you know, little finishing work, painting. This one here, actually, see the little pointy bit here? It kind of, like, came malformed on the printer. So what I did was I put some putty down on here, and I'm going to gently try to hit it with a filing tool and see if I can maybe just flatten out the little putty area here that's now becoming hard, like almost like ceramic. And if I can do that, then I can paint over it, no problem. You know, the color of the putty is irrelevant. But all in all, I gotta say, like, you know, after another coat of paint, this is good. So I finished the top rigging yesterday, or whatever you want to call these antennas, and there's like a minor defect, like with this antenna here, it has to be like basically tugged out or pulled in a little bit. But once you put it on display, I'm not terribly worried about this. I can put more glue or putty in its place, but it's accurate. So really, if I wanted to do this on stream, I just have to do the bottom. That's the same concept. You heat it up, you stab them in, and we're good to go. So I'm going to probably do the bottom when I'm ready to put this on a stand. Probably clear out a space in the china closet or something. Now I want to show you something I was proud of this. Well, I'm still proud of it, but this is one of my all-time favorite Gundams. This is the Victory Gundam. Now, it looked really cool when I finished the paint job. But what happened was I ran into a couple complications. So, well, actually, we're already good. So, this part here goes like this. So, this actually looks super cool when it's on. Like, it just gives it a really cool look. And I think that's actually the wrong side. So, we have to do it on the other side, maybe. Oh, here we are. But you can see, like how that looks from this angle, right? You know, you can see how, like, you just see, like, it's not bad. In my opinion, I'm not to be tooting my own horn. I'm okay with this. Like, could it be better? Maybe. Maybe I'll give a little more touch up on this side because I forgot about doing this side again. But basically, we added the black panel line. We painted this red because I feel like that is preferable to putting a decal on. Because you have two types of decals. You have adhesive decals, like stickers. And those I don't really trust. I'm not crazy about them, but they can look nice. Like, we have one up here in the sensor window in the head of the Gundam. And it's got this nice ruby color. What's interesting is I have a metallic marker that might be able to replace that. But I'm going to leave it alone. It looks okay right now, so we'll leave it alone. And I think we have one in the back. But it's being blocked by the rudder. Yeah, but we got him in there. So where did I make a mistake? Well, what happened was the part that attaches here. You see how this, like, joint rotates over here? Or how, like, the bicep rotates against the shoulder. So what happened was on the right arm, it was always loose and kind of almost falling off. And I kind of got it fixed, but it still looked a little janky. So I thought it was a good idea. Well, I didn't think it was a good idea, actually. But I looked it up online, and somebody said, it's fine. Use some cyanolite crazy glue. See if I can find some in my desk. once this thing effed up my model kit, I buried the crazy glue really deep. I was like, I don't want to look at this effing bottle again. Here we go. Cyanoacrylate. Sorry, cyanoacrylate. Okay, acrylate. Or some crap. Cyanoacrylate. Ethyl-2 cyanoacrylate. And what happened was I put it in like the loose bit of the joint, and the goal was to have the glue like dry up to like make a little extra layer on top of the plastic so that the part would not be loose. And I thought that this stuff only took like 5 or 10 minutes to dry. So once it was done drying after 5 to 10 minutes, I thought, okay, I'll put the part on. And I was like, it was moving around. I was like, okay, I can move it around. It looks like it's fine. I left it alone for like a day. I come back to it. The effing arm is not rotating at all. I'm like, ah, shoot. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I can like forcibly rotate it until it snaps. You know, in particular, the rotating bit. Instead of it snapping on the inside, it snapped on the actual peg, which is not what my intent was. I should have expected that because the glue had enough time to cure. Now, cyanolite glue, I don't think it melts the plastic like cement, because that's why I used the cyanolite stuff, because I had the understanding it wouldn't melt the plastic. And indeed, to fix the broken arm, we can do that. We can just kind of, you know, glue it on. But I've decided to be patient and hold off because I did a little Googling and there's hope. So essentially, one of the things you could do is you can get a brass rod, which I'm already using. I mean, you just saw my Starship. That's all brass rods right there. Those are all, like, those antennae or antennas. Let's see, I got a whole set of brass rods. Some of them are bent because I've used them as tools, but they're pretty easy to clean up. Mostly, I paint over them anyway, and I'm using the metallic Gundam paint markers to paint over the antennae at the moment, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, like, we got options. Like, these are probably going to be used, this wide one's probably going to be used to make a stand. Although, I could just as well 3D print a stand. And you got varying lengths, and so you just have to hacksaw them or use a file. And brass is a pretty soft metal, so it's really trivial to cut this to size. And so that's how I've been able to successfully do what I was doing to that ship. But now it looks like we're going to be doing something similar. Now, we're not going to heat it up like we did on the ship, because on the ship, we're using PLA, polylactic acid, which is basically 3D printer filament. This is stuff that is, you know, this stuff here is supposed to melt at a low melting point. That's like its job. That's, you know, just what it does, you know? I think it's made out of like recycled corn husk or some craziness like that. Like, that's literally what PLA is made from. Now, the other one, I should note, is made out of soda bottle plastic. Basically, it's called PETG, but it's very similar to soda bottle plastic. And because I was able to scale up the size a little bit, we were able to get, like, you know, a little more durability on some of the tiny parts. So anyway, I looked up a tutorial, and there's a couple of ways people do this, but what I want to know is maybe if I can, like, so what they prescribe you that I do is get what they call a pin vise, which is basically like a miniature hand drill. And you basically drill a tiny hole up in the middle of this peg. And then you can use, some people use coat hanger. One guy on the internet was saying use a coat hanger. The brass is more malleable, which is a double-edged sword, but I can see where there's pros and cons to using plastic or steel. What I'm kind of going for is, what I would really love to have is, and I don't even think I need a pin vise for this. I could probably finagle this by, whoops, have an idea. I just had a brainstorm. So here's my brainstorm idea. You take something like a sharpening stone or the file, and you're supposed to go against the grain with the file, but you see how, like, it's tricky. So I'm putting, like, light force in the opposite direction, but I'm putting more force in the rough, you know, against the grain direction, so to speak. So that would be like phase one, is just to get like a nice little, nice little bevel. Like right there, you can see like a little ramp. It's hard to see. It's probably invisible. But that would be like the first goal, is to like do that. And I could probably just do it like right here, where I just kind of go, oh, I got to move the chat box over. Look at that. Chat box is half covered. So basically, the idea would be to make it pointified. Pointified, that's a good one. And I'm just going to give it a little more. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Troy and Netta show today. That was pretty good, I gotta say. And it was nice having deleted scenes on. I mean, I think he's on from time to time, and he's a nice dude. You know, I should put his link. Did I put his link in my whatchamacallit, my what's that shit called? Stream Elements? Let's see. Probably not, because I don't remember it off the top of my head. I would say his like shortcut would be something like DS exclamation point DS or exclamation point deleted or something like that. Let's see. We're gonna take a look at my Stream Elements settings real quick, and then when we find the answer, we'll say elementary, my dear Watson. Oh, and so one of the reasons I bought this V2 Victory Gundam was because I had misplaced my first Victory Gundam's core fighter, and it's my hope that I would eventually find it. But there's a off chance, I'm not 100% sure, but there's an off chance that the original Victory Gundam contains a second core fighter. And so I started working on it yesterday. I opened it up and I said, let's just follow the manual and see how far I can get before I don't have parts. And I made it pretty far along. I'm not entirely confident that this is actually the case. I have a feeling there's like some caveat. But I'm hoping that there's like 2 usable core fighters in here, or maybe like a dummy core fighter that doesn't morph into a fighter plane or something. I'd be okay with that if that, you know, made a working model. So there's that silver lining. Otherwise, because like right now, like with the broken arm, it crossed my mind. Do I have to buy a second model? And I'd say the answer would be not necessarily. Like, I thought about it first. I thought, yeah, I'm going to need a new model. But no, apparently not. All right, let me double check my chatbot settings. And if anybody tuned into the Monday show this week, we had a Pop Culture Mechanic on. That was a pretty fun show. I admit I probably should give guests about 20% more talking time. I mean, if anyone's got feedback on that end, let me know. But I think I could I don't want to make it like, you know, I don't want to make the guest do all of the work, so to speak. But I mean, the point of having guests is letting them talk. And so when I review parts of my own shows, I do sometimes see that as a minor issue, you know, and I would definitely like to address that if that's even an issue. Maybe it's not an issue, but I think it is probably a minor issue. So deleted scenes is not in my chatbot. So we're gonna add him right now because he almost always mentions my channel when I show up somewhere that he moderates. And there we go. So now let's test it out. All we have to do is type exclamation point deleted. Now, unfortunately, I don't think this will show if we have like, you know, basic chat or whatever it's called, selected, top chat selected, but for now, that'll suffice. Now, I have bad news. My ship, I tried doing another coat of paint on my ship, and it's a disaster. I don't know what to do with this now. I'm thinking about just lobbing on another coat of paint in between all of these wet spots and see if maybe make it level, because in some areas it's like close enough to perfect for me to be okay with it. In other areas it's like a joke, you know, right? So we're going to see if we can do anything better here. This is a hot mess. I think I'm just going to strip this entire thing and start over. Or maybe I'll strip the side. I don't know. I'm on the fence. There's a reason for that. Now this one here came out satisfactory. I'm not going to drive myself insane and redo it. What we're going to do here is very simple. We're going to do 2 things. We're going to use the find panel line marker. I know I'm jumping around a bit. And we're just going to give this a little bit of love right here. All right, that was awful. That was a little bad. Not even sure if a pencil eraser can fix that. I think that's gonna take like a Q-tip and like a tiny bit of alcohol. But we're gonna try a couple of tricks here. I'll just put a little red paint on there. Hey, what's up there, Jason Fox of 542 Studios? See, that's another person like, oh God, I just messed it up again. Right, we're going to be redoing the red paint on just that spot, that's for sure. But one thing I learned is you can't do the panel lining until after you do the painting because it just doesn't work out. Like, what happens is if you do the panel lining and then you paint over it, the black ink will start to run all over the place. But the caveat is it's so much easier to do the panel lining. It's really much easier to do the panel lining before, because if I do panel lining here, I could wipe it off with alcohol. I could use a pencil eraser. It's really not a problem. Like, look right here. We got a couple areas here. It's like, oh, whoops, made a hot mess. I could use my finger. And look at that. We still have the little, like, there's actually a little bevel or, you know, notch in there. See, like, how much better that is? But this, you mess up and you're screwed. You know, you're not entirely screwed, but you're kind of screwed, as you just saw. So maybe I should just, like, make use of that masking tape that cost me a fortune and use it. We got some options, but we're not going to do that right now. I just wanted to share that with you guys. But right now, where's that arm? And Jason Fox says, hail to the top G on YouTube. Skull for Valhalla. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a member. Am I a member of Valhalla? I mean, I watch Loki's Mornings of Mischief. I'm a member of the channel, so I guess, yeah. Yeah, I'm in the family of Valhalla. Me and Lady Mist, right? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so basically, we're going to use a brass rod, and I'm going to be very careful. Like, right now, it's going to do a little exploratory surgery, all right? So, we would basically, what my goal would be is to poke something in like that. Maybe without even using a pin vise. And then, once we have it in there, on both ends, I want to have the ability to rotate it. So, maybe what I would do is have a pin vise that makes a hole that's small. Yeah, this is pretty rigid plastic right here. Make a hole that's smaller than the brass rod that I use. And it's probably better to use a smaller brass rod so that if I have to re-tap the hole in the future, I have more room to work with, although there's workarounds for that. Some people use epoxy to fill in the hole and stuff like that. But what I want to do is I want to do something that most people wouldn't want to do. And like I said, I want to retain the rotational motion. I want this rod to hold it there pretty firmly, but I want the ability to rotate it. And I think there's hope. I really think there's hope in this area. So, so that's the plan there. But, you know, as for these two parts here, like we were talking about before, let's take a quick look here. So I think I'm supposed to remove something here to make this fit. Something seems off here. Like, I think this is supposed to come off. Yeah, there we go. So I think the way this works is you put this on, right? And you put this on, right? And you're good to go. So in other words, all I got to do is clean up this little instep here with some alcohol. Carefully. So I'll do that on my own time. Then, after we clean up that little instep area, we're going to use the clear coat marker. So I have a couple of different ones. This isn't the one I would use, but actually this one I don't even know what this is. This is a Gundam EX marker. And I don't know if it's a white marker. I need to translate it. Fine tip saturate for detail painting. Oh, suitable for detail painting. So actually, this might be for detail. So I will have to investigate what this marker is. I will run it through Google Translate. There's another marker here somewhere from the same set. And I have two actually from the same set. This one here is the clear gloss. So I'd probably do clear gloss in this case, but I have time to decide whether I want to do clear matte. What I'd really like to do is paint something else. Maybe like the inside of a plastic pot, you know, where it doesn't see the light of day, and put on both clear and gloss, clear gloss and clear matte, because I don't know what's better. Oh, I don't know what they look like. I don't really know what the difference is like, but what I can tell you is why the side of this is a hot mess. Oh, this one's, a partial hot mess. This one I think is salvageable. But this deep red area is kind of concerning. It's like I don't need that much. But if you saw how this side looked like, where was it? This side looks like hell. You know why this looks like hell? What happened was I put the red paint on, and then I put the clear coat on. Then I put more red paint on. And what I discovered was you can't really put the clear coat, you can't really put more paint on top of the clear coat. It does not like that at all. So, yeah, word of the wise, don't do that. As for this side here, this one's basically good to go. This one I'm willing to just say it's done and give it a clear coat. You know, it's got the sides are pretty good. And I can't think of why I wouldn't want it to be a glossy finish. So we're going to give it a glossy finish right now. Oh, we got to go check on the telescope. I'm from Norway. So talking about the real stuff there. And I'm a Norse pagan, so want to share the love with real love to one of my good buds. Thank you. He's writing skull in like a different language, and he's using like funny little symbols on top of the letters. I mean, you know, he's legit. Lady Skull. I don't see any flashing. Where's the peeps in trench coats flashing? Trench coats. Trench coats. Am I gonna be rated? I don't know if I should be flattered or scared. You guys should also check out. I think I have Chaos for You in my my stream elements bot. I think if we type the word chaos in, he might come up. I mean, I'll double check the settings in a minute. Like, I haven't used it extensively because it hasn't worked as consistently as I prefer. Yeah, so once you put the clear coat Gundam marker on, that's it. You can't put like another like coat of paint on it. So that's what you must be aware of. Now, I'm hoping that the clear coat protects it from, what do you call it? Rubbing alcohol or something, because that's one of the weaknesses, is that you got to be really careful about shit, pardon my French. Crap. Luckily, that's not as concerning because, like, I have two ways of managing that type of oopsie. We'll take a look at that right now. I mean, pretty straightforward. It's nothing I haven't done before. So, basically, the ideal way, in my opinion, is to have a eraser out. Lol, back in the day, there was a person called a... Oh, yeah, I did. I forgot the name of my stream. I named my stream, didn't I? Excuse me. So... for the record, it looks like we don't have Chaos for You in my stream elements bot yet. But you know who we do have? We got Pop Culture Mechanic. We got Adega. And there we go. And we're gonna add you right now, Chaos for You. So I guess that's Chaos for me. There we go. We're gonna make your chatbot command is gonna be Chaos, and it's gonna be subscribe to Chaos for You. What is that? 78? Or is that 87? 728. There we go. So now if I type in the letters Chaos. Okay, it says, oh, I think deleted scenes. Oh, I thought he had a weekend update on it for a second. I think that was last week's. Okay, well, that's good. I didn't want to be streaming at the same time if I could avoid it. So let me just get that chat window back up and we'll try it out. No worries. I just, I forgot the name of my own stream because it is a running, it's a joke. Like, I'm going to be flashing yous, you know? Interesting. I'll have to look that up. Yeah. You're right. No, that's exactly what I had. Chaos, that's exactly what I had in mind. I literally made that joke, or at least I made the name of the stream based on that joke. And that's okay. It looks like your chatbot command doesn't work yet. I will investigate that. Did I misspell chaos? No, I don't think I misspelled chaos. Chaos. Yeah, chaos. Chaos. That is chaos. So if I type in the letters chaos, it should have worked. Maybe it was too soon. Yeah, I got it. 728. Maybe I misspelled the word chaos and I'm not even realizing it. Like, maybe I'm just getting all like, No, I'm spelling it right. Yeah, it says chaos. All right, well, maybe it'll work later. It'll work next time. It'll work sometime in the future. One of these days. What about 542? Do I have 542 in my bot? I should have that. Oh my god, I gotta add so many people. I thought I had you already, you know, Mr. 542 Studios. Well, he's not 542 Studios. He's from 542 Studios. So in New York, a lot of these like feminist, you know, internet people, I don't know what you call them, Tumblr personalities, they would like moan on the internet about different situations like catcalling, right? And what the heck was the name I was just going to type in there just now? Oh yeah, Jason Fox from 5. Okay, that's too much to type right now. I'll fill in the rest later. So let's just see if that works. There we go. I'm not going to try. I just added the chat command Jason. You could type in exclamation point Jason if you want to see if that works. All right, let's see if we can give this thing a little love before I proceed to the next thing. What's up there, Jim? Ah, yuck, there's gunk on my freaking thing. Let me just get some toilet paper. This is great. This is why there was a toilet paper shortage in the 2020. Because I'll use toilet paper for like everything. See? Now I don't know if I can put the clear coat on it, but black marker is like pretty easy to fix, so I'm not terribly worried about it. Oh yeah. So anyway, yes, you're right though. It's funny because I remember a story where this guy's going to a bar and like this lady was expecting the guy to catcall or at least to hit on her, and he was ignoring her, and she slams the door on him because she was like upset that he was ignoring her. And it's like, dude, can't win. Lady wants me to ignore her. I ignore her. She gets mad. I'm ignoring her. But you know, anybody who watched any of the those types of MGTOW YouTube channels would have heard the story already of Where Have All the Good Men Gone? Or the 60s song, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? Do, 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 do. It's a lovely song, actually. I do think it's a lovely song. The 60s came out with a lot of beautiful music, and despite the anti-establishment vibes, I'm pretty sure all of it is owned by the recording industry now. Alrighty. They hate catcalling until it stops. Oh yeah, we said that already. The tech gods don't favor me. It's okay. The tech gods favor you just fine. You got 600 subs. Congratulations on gaining your 600 like a week or two ago, I think, Chaos. So, keep up the good work. You're doing your thing. You're like Sarah Palin. You're out there doing your thing. No, okay. That's the guy's nothing to do with anything. What's up? What's up, David Glenn? So last week, I cut myself off shaving before a stream. Well, not last week, on Monday. And David Glenn was like, oh man, I don't use the straight razors. And then I make this analogy about an English muffin. I felt bad because I thought like it would be perceived as like me trying to make a joke about someone. But luckily, David Glenn was a cool sport. And he goes, that's a good analogy. But I was like, that's like a good analogy, but it's like some people might be sensitive. They might be like, are you comparing me to an English muffin? But that would be an interesting way to practice shaving. Get an English muffin, put like maybe like a plastic bag on top of it. If you can glide the safety razor over the English muffin and plastic bag without leakage, you're doing it right. Or some crazy shit like that. I don't know. But yeah. So let's see here. I'm pretty up on the music. That one escapes me. What? What the 60s, bro? Maybe you just want a child of the 60s. So I remember one time when I was younger, like, I don't know, 18. I would hang out with my boys, and maybe we got like a little stoned, and they're like, I was an idiot. I go, I want to go home and eat my eggplant parmesan. You know, like I was tired of just sitting in the garage or whatever. And then they're like, oh, you got eggplant parmesan? And they all wanted it in, and I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. So, like, a dumb fuck, I decided to like, okay, whatever, fine. I take in my house against all my best instincts to have some eggplant parmesan. So, we're eating eggplant parmesan. My mom pops in the kitchen, goes, I was a child of the 60s. You guys got the munchies. And I'm like, and she just leaves the kitchen. I'm like, you motherfuckers. I look at my friends. I'm like, see what I tell you? I told you this was going to happen. I'm not just being a paranoid little bitch. This literally is what happened, bro. And yeah, they laughed it off. And certainly I'd be laughing it off if I was them too. And I'm like, shit. See, told you so. So I just thought it's funny how my mom would be like, I was a child of the 60s. My mom, somebody's like, even if it was just giving life advice, like friendly life advice, my mom would be like, in the 60s, people used to do this free love thing, but then they got a bunch of STDs, so wrap it up. It'd be like a PSA. My mom would be giving me a PSA on, and then she'd be like, also, don't double wrap, because, you know the deal, I'm sure everyone knows that you can't double wrap if you're ever wearing those things. It's like, I think they create too much friction and it rips. So what we're doing here is, we're just kind of doing a little, like, cleanup here, right? We don't necessarily need to be perfectionists, but I do want to try to clean it up a little bit more. And so I'm just kind of, and it's a little tricky. It is a little tricky. It's a little scary to do this. There's like a little gap right over there, which annoys me because like I can't even touch that up if I wanted to now. Best I can do is like put a dab of red paint on it by taking a used Q-tip that already has red paint on it and just kind of dipping a pointy bit on there, because I'm not going to like, I'm really not trying to mess it up, you know what I mean? So what I do is, luckily I have a couple of different red markers here. It's better with some chicken on it. Yeah, you ain't kidding. You're actually right about that. So, really, this is not a real color palette, but it works because it's a piece of Mylar tape. Oh, and what we're going to do is just going to dip the tip of this pointy bit in. I'm going to look for that missing part. Right there, I see it. There we go. Oh, it's still not perfect. Sorry, taking it out of frame. I just need to see what I'm doing. I'm bumping into my camera. Almost got it. It's weird. It's not really a gap, but it's a gap. All right. I think I should leave that alone. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. Now you can't put any more clear coat on that until you can't put any clear coat on it until it sets. But you know, for now that should do. Now, good news, we have a little wet paint here, so maybe I can leverage that after doing a little cleanup work. So what we're gonna do is I'm dipping my Q-tip in this here, and I'm just seeing if maybe any excess red paint comes off the tip there, so that I can, you know, reuse the same Q-tip. That's like 99% IPA, isopropyl alcohol. I remember seeing the dispenser in a comedy club restroom for finger condoms. They were merely for finger cots that are used in the restaurant industry. Interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. Is that like if I'm eating like finger food, I don't have to touch it? Honestly, I'd buy that. I'd buy that shit. I'd buy that if that's a thing. Finger condoms, like go eat fucking chicken wings with my hands and not touch them. That's awesome. Because personally, if it's up to me, man, any day of the week, it's buffalo. I mean, I'm sorry, yeah, buffalo wings or whatever. The ones that you don't have to touch. The ones that I could like spear with a fork. You know, that's what I'm talking about. I want to have a keyboard. I want to be able to touch my phone. I want to touch the face of my loved one without them yelling at me about giving them acne for the 50th time that week. Okay, I'm kidding on that last part. But, I mean, yeah. I mean, you probably would give someone acne if you, like, touch their face after, you know, you're like, you have a lovely face. Slime. All right. Whew. It's intense. That is so intense. You know, I mean, those kids in third world countries have nothing over us here. In America, we have to sit here in a heated home with a Q-tip, trying to make sure we don't mess up our model kids. In Rwanda, they don't even have to worry about cooking their food because they don't have any. Okay, I'm kidding. I actually don't know how it is in Rwanda now, but when I was a kid, because, you know, back then I was a kid. And what's up, Lemon Pie? Good to see you. Let's go take a look at the telescope real quick. So we're going to open up the VNC client. I'm going to enter the login info. We're going to take a look here. So far I went over my busted Gundam arm and how I plan to fix it. Beyond that, I was doing a little cleanup and painting work, but I decided to take a... Oh, wait, I probably shouldn't take a long break because the paint is still wet and I can still reuse the paint if I need to. And this is the side of my neighbor's house, I think. Probably. Let's see here. I didn't even... Oh, yeah, that was some George Carlin type humor, wasn't it? Well, it's an honor to be, for someone to say that to me. So let's see what we got. We got the beehive cluster. And when it barks, dogs with bees come out. No, wait. That's the Simpsons. All right. So anyway, we got this January salt and pepper cluster. Let's see how that looks. What does that look like? I mean, kind of looks cool, I guess. You know, maybe let's aim the telescope at it and see how that does. So I have to tell the telescope to slew to target. Then the numbers start moving. Did you hear about the couple that went camping for their honeymoon? The sex was intense. I'm sorry. Took me a second to get that. I can barely keep my eyes open. Catch you all later. See you later, David Glenn. At least David Glenn has trouble keeping his eyes open when he's at home. I get to work and I'm like, I gotta make it to lunch. And then I'll make it to lunch. Then I'll find a room to sleep in. It looks mad sketchy. Like, I'll find any empty office if the one I need isn't available. And next thing you know, I scare the shit out of the guy who's sitting in the cubicle next to the unoccupied office. Like, an hour later, I'm coming out. Like, this guy goes on his lunch break. I go into the unoccupied office. He comes back from lunch. And then my ass shows up out of nowhere, popping out of that door, like making a noise with the door. And he's like, huh. Like, hey there. Taking my lunchtime nap. And I'm like, I always make it clear, this was during my lunchtime, so don't go ratting on me telling people I nap on the clock, because I do it on my lunch break. I don't do it on the clock. So I got a new feature. Well, I don't have a new feature, but SharpCap has a really cool new feature I'm going to show you guys today. It's called Deep Sky Annotation. And what it does is it annotates the image. Here, let me show you. So first thing we're going to do is set the exposure to something like 1 second. Then we're going to stretch our histogram, and you can see the star cluster. Because, you know, see? Cluster of stars. So we're already kind of in focus, but I haven't touched this telescope since yesterday. So I don't know if we're really in focus. Now, being that it's January, it's cold enough that I could probably bring the image sensor below -15 degrees. But I find that the minute I go to -25 degrees, a day later, the temperature will be back in the 50s. And you can only maintain a low temperature when it's really cold out. So unfortunately, this is always the boring part. And the first part is like basically just getting the focus right. So we rack it out, we rack it in, and then we're going to use something called plate solving. In fact, I could have done that already, but before I dial in the focus, I can do that. I can still do it. So first, let's just rack in the mechanism. Get these blurry stars to be in focus again. I ain't ginormous, but a finger caught ain't working. Now, at some point I got to do some more work on this. Probably going to do it off stream, but I made some progress, but I need to sit down and install an old version of Adobe Premiere in a virtual machine, and then pray that it lets me encode MPEG-1 files. Or at least something that is compatible with an MPEG encoder. Alright, let's see. We're tightening up the focus mechanism. Going maybe like 10 more steps. Alright, let's do it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to zoom back out. We're going to zoom back out to like this. I'm going to do something called plate solving first. So all we do is we say plate solve and resynchronize. And what it's going to do is it's going to take a picture, it's going to compare it to the star map, and it's going to recenter the reticle. Oh, there's a glitch here. The reticle is missing. Wait, is it missing? What the hell am I looking at here? Wait a second. I don't think it ever aimed at the new target. I think we're looking at the beehive cluster right now. I'm a little confused right now, because I thought we were looking at the January salt and pepper cluster. But it says beehive cluster right now. I'm going to do that one more time. I think I know what I need to do. I think I need to close the app and reopen it. That sometimes happens. So let's just do that real quick, because we want the reticle. But in the meantime, I can still show you deep sky annotation. So here goes nothing. So I go to the menu here. I'm going to click Deep Sky Image. The menu. Okay, I'm getting a little lag right now. I got to like check my network cables. I should really do like a little bit of cleaning and check my network cables. You know, like maybe one of the cables is running next to it. There we go. So it basically uses the plate solving information to draw annotations. Then you can go down here and click a button that says set target name, or you can pick a target from the list and tell it to put it in center. So this list is all objects that are currently on my screen. So you can see how like HIP 27661 is down here. I see something is way up there. M37 is in the center. And apparently M37 counts as this entire circle here. So if we go here, we should be able to see the reticle already on target, but we're going to type it in manually. Yep, we were already on target. So if we zoom in here and we turn on the red square, that represents pretty much what we're looking at right now. Now here's the caveat. When you use deep sky annotation, I find it very convenient, just the fact that it automatically labels the target for me now. That makes my life a bit easier. But the issue of deep sky annotation is, like, let's say now I want to do like a 60-second exposure. After a minute, it's going to refresh the picture we're looking at. And these annotations are going to shift. They're going to move for two reasons. They're going to move because tracking isn't perfect. That's why we have auto guiding. So what we do here is, I forgot to do this, but we were supposed to do this already. But one thing I learned is that auto guiding will send corrective pulses to keep us on target by using a guide star. So essentially, the star I selected, if it starts moving up or down, it'll measure how many pixels it's moving, and the software will tell it to move in the opposite direction. So that's kind of cool. But it throws off the annotation. So the annotation starts to like get out of sync. That's not really an issue, because even though it throws the coordinates off, when you're done taking the picture, when you're done processing it, you can reanalyze the picture again, automatically, in order for the software to say, hey, this is where you're aiming at. So it doesn't really mess me up. It's just kind of like a minor nuisance, because it would be ideal to have like this little red cross centered. But for every new picture we see pop up on the screen, you're going to see this red cross move. I got a new widower visiting a while. Okay, I got to read this because I know I got to be on my toes for this one. Got new widower visiting a wild tamale. Big horse blow. What's a guy to do? Got a widower visiting a wild tamale. Big horse blow. Do you want me to get that video of the horse licking the ear microphone? No, I'm kidding. You ever see that shit? So this is a video of Amaranth. And Snowdub plays it on his show, and basically, like, it's playing this. Oh my god, it's actually a video. It's a video. All right, we're gonna have a horse break today. We're bringing the horse in tonight, guys. We're bringing the horse in. We're bringing the horse in. All right, let me check the audio. Oh wait, there's no audio here. This is just like straight horse. Oh, we're gonna get you guys audio for this one, because apparently the audio from the Snowdub video is like his own music, or music he added to it. This one here, it has audio. We're gonna listen together for the first time in our community. We are going to play horse with horse sounds. You ready? I'm not. Oh, that's scary. I'm gonna get nightmares from this. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with this. There's something terribly wrong with this. You know what's wrong? I'm not even kidding. I'm dead serious. When she licked the left ear microphone, those things are weird. I heard the sound of my right ear. Yeah, her ear microphone is backwards, I think. Either it's backwards or somebody messed up these channels, because, like, judging by the shape of that ear, let me know if I need to enlarge the ear, but That does look like a right ear, right? I mean, like, that's the earlobe. That's the front of the earlobe. So that should be the left ear. So why is it that when she licks the right ear, I hear on my left ear? Did somebody flip the audio channels by accident? Is she just terrible at audio engineering because she's busy putting on a horse mask? I just dipped my arm in rubbing alcohol. That's why I'm wiping my elbow. But yeah, what is this? Like, what's up with this audio? All right, let's finish it out. Yeah, it's very disconcerting to have her lick the left ear. Well, you know, I'm going to flip my headphones around. Because I want the full ASMR experience, man. I want to get the sensation out of a girl in a horse mask is trying to lick my ears, all right? That's why I'm here. I'm here so I can get this, like, this sensory response, right? I want to feel chills down my spine. I want to feel like that horse from the book Black Beauty is like... All right, let's do this. Oh. All right, who's up for some water bottle sounds? I'm kidding. We're not going any further with this. They got more. We got more of this girl in horse suits. All right, we got to check this out. Okay. Yeah, no, she dead ass. What is going on? She got 2 fucking ear microphones. Okay, like as if it's not weird enough having one of them. She got 2. I don't know if there's a nice pants or if that's just a contrast. Honestly, I wish there was more real color here. Yeah, it's happening again. They're backwards. Maybe this is not backwards. I don't know. Oh, God, no. No. Jesus Christ. All right. This is a family-oriented show. Let's get back to our programming here. How did that make you guys feel? Let's check out the chat here. His wife just passed. All I can do is listen. Maybe give him some basic crap to do. A human female ain't an equine? Equine? Yeah, equine, because they're equestrian, they're horses, right? This is just weird. Why would you watch the horse clip? Why not? I wanted to know. I wanted to know what it was like. Okay, so I'll tell you why, honestly. Kali Hond, good to see you. It's because on Saturday nights, my friend Snowdub, well, he stopped playing it, so I'm having some withdrawals. Now, jokes aside, Snowdub, I think someone donated Snowdub $300 to stop playing the freaking horse clip. And he used to play the horse clip, but he would have this doofy music. It was like this like weird synthesized, I don't know, this like fairgrounds music, like dum 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 dum, like with a little flute in there. It's like kind of little funny, the music. And this is the first time I've seen the horse clip without music. And I think the sounds were the same as the ones in the Snowdub version, but this time we could hear them much more clearly. I just wanted to confirm the absurdity of it, to be honest. Like, I didn't believe that this was a thing. I was kind of like, I don't know what I thought about it until I just saw it. I needed to see that. You know, it's like a train wreck. You need to see the train wreck to believe it happens sometimes, you know? So now we know what happened. So now let's see what other parts of this Gundam we can touch up here. So I'm thinking that this one's actually fine. We're just going to put a clear coat. Oh, and let me show you guys something cool. It's not perfect, but I'm going to leave it alone. This is actually not red. This is metallic red. And there's a little bit of coverage issues here, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to put any coat over it. You know, like maybe if I get better at masking, I could do it again. But I'm just going to redo the black part. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this. You know, now this here, maybe I could do this differently. But I want to try it out, you know, before I see if it was worth putting some metallic on the inside. Everything else is pretty much good. Okay, so we hit that with a little alcohol, no big deal. I had to glue these on because they kept falling off. No problem. You know, we got some cement for that. But yeah, this actually transforms. Like, this like foot part here, like does this and it collapses into itself. This I might clean off. I was just kind of experimenting to see how the, silver looked on there. But mainly, most of it we don't paint because remember the top part, this turns into a fighter plane. This whole, everything above these two vents, minus the arms, turns into a fighter jet. And it's actually like inside this little part here is like the nose of the plane. You can see the nose poking out. So yeah. But I did go over this already. I just want to double show that one more time before I put this in the box. So yeah, like I said, brass rod. We'll give that a little love. Let's check on that telescope real quick. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I got ADD. I should put the clear coat on that arm, but I don't really want to mess with it right now. We're gonna leave it alone for now. So yeah, see that little star track is drifting, but this is a really nice feature that you can click on things and like highlight them and label them based on the name in the file. So that's pretty cool. So what we do is we get this in red, blue, and green. Stack them. I have a lot of unprocessed raw imagery I got to work on, but at least we have the raw data, and the winter is the best time to get your raw astro image data because once the winter ends, you got to deal with humidity and all of these things. So real quick, I think I'm gonna probably call it an early stream, even though I still got some energy in me. I don't want to bore people, and I want to maintain quality, but how long have I been I don't even know how long I've been at it. Okay, good. It's been an hour. I wouldn't want to cut it too short, So I hope that answers the question, Kalihan, in a satisfactory manner. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me for playing the horse clip. Maybe we'll see if we can find another astronomical target right now. Oh, Big Angry Phil is on. He was interesting. I watched Big Angry Phil the other day. He was interesting. He was recommended to me by, oh, Shagsworth is on. Shagsworth is alright too. But you know who else is also on? At least he was on. He might not be on anymore. I thought he was on. Oh, and Blaine's is doing something with a gladiator-related thing. Ooh. And I see something on. So, who's on? I believe Blaine's Escape Corner was on or is on. No, he's on right now. He's doing strategy and chill. So, I might recommend you guys check him out in a moment. Maybe do a little raid. Because if you do a raid on his channel, then people in his chat will see my name and they'll be like, oh, this guy exists. We got to subscribe to him. Now, but jokes aside, just why not? He's got an okay brand of comedy. And let's see. I'm just checking my Twitter messages. And I think we're going to have Raquel SSG on this Monday with Zanzoltan. I got to double check with Zanzoltan, but I believe Zanzoltan wants to be on. And I have a birthday present planned for Wilton the Troll, so that's going to be coming up soon. And let me see if I can find my YouTube reaction playlist. Oh, he's like, I don't know who Mr. Grant Gregory is, but he looks like a big deal. So, yeah, that's who Shagsworth is talking to right now. But Big Angry Phil, I checked him out the other day. I liked his show. I'm going to jump over that one right after this. This is Phil. Seems like a nice enough guy. I don't mean like a nice guy, like where he's like, trying to hit on your girlfriend. He's like, why doesn't your girlfriend love me? I'm a nice guy. No, he's not like that kind of nice guy. But those guys aren't actually nice guys, right? Like, but they're doing the thing they were told was the nice thing to do. I missed the Clobbering Time show, but I haven't been watching, what's that shit called? Blake's 7. So, like, I would be getting spoilers galore anyway. I'm looking for something in my playlists right now, because I got something cool to show you guys. I'm going to end this stream with a bang. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to play something that's probably going to get me copyright strucked. So let's get a copyright strike at the end of the show instead of the beginning of the show, right? I was going to work on my 3D printer today, but I misplaced my wallet, and I decided to take a nap and then come back to looking for my wallet before finding it in the bottom of my work bag. So that's good. At least I didn't lose my wallet. Right, good. We got it right here. I'm gonna show a cool clip right here. If anybody who likes Gundam as much as I like Gundam. Now, I gotta make sure I have the streaming stuff on my top screen. I did not know that was his name. Whatever his name is, he's a nice guy. Or at least I get along with him. He's nice enough to me. Shit! The playlist is moving. Let me know if the audio is too loud. Okay, so this is a core fighter from Mobile Suit Gundam. And then this is a Gunperry, and it's a cargo craft carrying an entire Gundam, or at least the parts of a Gundam. And it's going to drop the legs, apparently. And I just think this is cool, because it's like using a fly-by-wire avionics system to basically, you know, keep everything flying. And you're going to see these armored plates are going to be flapping in the wind, and I think that's actually how they get controlled. This is called the core booster. So the core booster is basically a core fighter, but the back of it is like it's got a larger thing. It's got like almost like looks like a jet engine. It's got some heavy beam weaponry in there. It's got extra what I presume to be propellant pods. So it's literally a booster for the core fighter. I agree. Losing things sucks. Did the Tonight Show version for high school speaking thing. Word. I'm entering a paint competition for January where we have to paint an EG RX-78-2 based on a random object for inspiration. I'm still looking for interesting. EG, what is that? Entry grade? Like that's like first grade or yeah, entry grade. I think yeah, it's like basically it's like not high grade or high grade. You got high grade, master grade. I did buy a first grade model and an entry grade model once. So I got a first grade Zaku, which might be a little older. That might be where it gets the name. And I have a newer one. Yeah, and I have a newer one that is hot, you know, like that's first grade. I'm sorry, first grade and entry grade. I do have both. Like literally, I have an RX-78 that's entry grade, and I have a Zaku that's first grade, and of course, I have a high grade gun tank that I'm very proud of. So, whoa, keyboard, don't fall on me. But you can see those like flaps are moving in the back, and this thing is like trying to like put itself into a configuration to dock, and it looks like they're going back into fighter plane config. And then these two are practically synchronized now, apparently. It must be... I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm guessing it's a practice maneuver. Now, I am concerned about the aerodynamics of the legs, but my guess is that the legs, maybe they just have enough propulsive force. Maybe they got built-in jet engines or rockets that are able to push it along. It really looks like they're messing around with the core fighter pilot here. Now, I do have some issues with the armored plating we're going to get to in a moment, but you can see how the armor is not exactly white. It's got like a lot of texture to it, or a lot of variation. But you can still see these armored flaps are still moving, and I don't think they're just flapping in the wind. I think that's a feature. I think that's what it's doing. You can see the Gunperry has these two boxes that are wide open now. A lot of the things from the Universal Century Gundam are not the most aerodynamic, but I'm going to guess that with the fusion technology, the fusion reactors they have, they're just brute forcing the aerodynamics. This is kind of cool. How satisfying was that sound? So, real quick, like, look at this armor. Now, maybe this was a stylistic decision, but it's like, my understanding is the original Gundam is made out of Gundarium, which is basically lunar titanium. It's titanium that comes from the moon. And I don't know if this is a paint job or if it's actually a ceramic composite now, because if it was a ceramic composite, I could imagine there being some variation, but I don't know. I feel like if they're painting the titanium white, it should be white, you know? But you can see this like scaling or whatever you want to call it. Granted, this is like one of those redesigns where they add more detail than was originally designed, and that's okay. Like, it works really well for the core fighter, I think, because it makes it look more realistic when it's morphing. But you can see, like, over here, you got like these little scaly plates down here. Yeah, I agree. The window sounds are very good on this. They always add more detail to the vents than were originally there. The horns up here I thought were gold. They're actually white. So, I mean, I painted mine gold, but they are supposed to be white. And you got these, like, caution signs. Here it says caution. Probably says, don't step onto this. Don't stand in front of the Gatling gun. Yeah, so maybe battle damage. That's a good point, Jim. I'm thinking battle damage. Corrosion, I don't know if titanium corrodes like that, but it's conceivable. I mean, it's used in a multitude of environments. It's exposed to heat. Yeah, these are the Vulcan cannons. Sort of like on a fighter plane. I think it's like literally a Gatling gun or something similar to a Gatling gun back here. And so you could see the Gundam has its backpack, which usually has 2 or 4. Apparently there's 4 back here. And then the feet have a couple more things here too. And it's not like the Victory Gundam. The Victory Gundam has a Minovsky craft system. It can literally hover using Minovsky particles. This is using, like, basically jets and rockets to push it up, or in this case, aerodynamic lift. They're using the air to give lift to the wings. Well, the white you're talking about is titanium dioxide. Interesting. Okay, that's makes sense. EFSF, Earth Federation Space Force. I have a pair of Converses that literally have this color scheme, and they say EFSF on the back. That looks kind of cool. Like, this is like Gundam porn to me. And there's like no dialogue in here at all. Now, I'm a little confused why they got the second pair of legs. Are these like replacement legs for the Gundam if they get lost in battle? Or are they just practicing? They don't have 2 Gundams on there. They do not have 2 Gundams. Oh, I see. Titanium oxide is what they use. I see. Back in the day, they used to use lead. Yeah, you heard the radio communications too. Now, you would think in the future, they would have better radio. But you know why the radio sucks? Because, or the quality of the radio communication sucks. It's probably because of the Minovsky particles. They're probably in a war zone or something, and there's Minovsky particles creating interference. That's why in some of the scenes in here, you see the plane weaving side to side. It's not trying to communicate using radio. They're trying to communicate using their wings to give visual communications, because, you know, the radio comms are not that good, apparently. That's kind of cool. I don't know if it's realistic, but it looks cool. Like, I don't know if that's like a look, if he's trying to like give him a challenge. Hey, what's up, the Padawannabe? You know, I'm playing a clip that I thought would get me a copyright strike, but so far it hasn't. This is like one of the last things we're gonna do on the stream tonight. I did a little touch-up work on my Victory Gundam. Earlier, you know, I want to show you something real quick before I get back to the video, because I feel like you might have some insight on this. So, some person on the internet said use cyanolite super glue to fix a loose joint, and instead I caused problems. So you can see over here how I basically, it got stuck, and I twisted it off and it snapped. So my plan is to simply use a thin brass rod, like something like this. Get a pin vise or a small drill, put the brass rod in there, and then maybe I can use the brass rod to facilitate some twisting. So yeah, if you have any counterpoints to that, let me know. But I think we already know. Radio is weird. It was my job. It's half superstition, I'm telling you. I kind of don't doubt it, because I've heard some interesting things about radio, and you know, I think we should touch on that in a moment, because it's there's so much to radio communications, radio frequencies. So, for example, I have a shortwave radio right here, and this thing can be plugged into a big antenna. I bought an antenna. It looks like a long ass wire. It literally looks like a long wire. Wait, there's more of these? There's more of these? This is beautiful work, by the way. I don't know if this is created, but this is the name of the channel. So just type that in if you want to check out their work. In fact, I'm going to subscribe to them, because I do want to see more of their work. It's a very satisfying pounding sound. That could be Japanese. I did that once, yeah. I've used super glue and baking soda build-up material. JB Weld is pretty good at times. That's one of the recommendations that I saw for fixing this. I think I'm going to try just using a straight pin vise, drilling a hole, because I want to make that brass rod spin. So if I have the brass rod simply holding the two pieces together, but allowing them to rotate, I'd be okay with that, you know? But, you know, other fixes I saw online suggested, like, almost like making the joint rigid, and I don't want to make a rigid joint, you know? Like, unless I can settle on a pose. Okay, they're gonna do something insane here. Okay, this is kind of bullshit. I don't think this thing should be able to fly like this. Unless they're falling with style. I just don't see how that guy could be flying when his engines are facing backwards. See, that kind of makes sense. This only works if they're falling with style. Okay, so that's like, I don't know. I feel like you could do a crab walk with that, you know? Like, they could, like, scare the shit out of some people on the ground by doing a crab walk and stomping on people like ants. It's like a very awkward dance. JB Weld is pretty damn good about the best thing for repairing cracked cast iron cylinder heads. Interesting. Whoa. Didn't even know people used it for that. He's gonna turn his head. Turn your head. Uh-oh, you're a dead man. Have you ever seen that? You're dead. So anyway, I'm not going to keep playing other people's material, but I am glad. Oh wait, that's cool. So this is the white base. So I'm building the refit version of this ship right now. The red paint that I was showing you before, like that's literally the bottom of the front. So those red things I painted are the bottom of these areas, but they're more sleek in Gundam in the year 0083. And this is the gun tank I built. See? Got some silver back here. I did some weathering on the tank tracks. I did metallic on the edges. So I got some gold over here. Yeah, so I'm thinking drill. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Drill it and tap it. Yeah, on the piston head. Yeah, or whatever you call it. Oh, come on. I thought we were the good guys. I didn't think we drove over people. He's got the same armor as a Gundam. Oh, he's locking himself down so he can fire the big gun. That's Hayato. He's using the targeting scope. They're hovering. Oh, he's gonna eject. He's going into stationary turret mode. And there's the core fighter. See, they got a core fighter in there too. Yeah, it is a bit like Robotech. Oh my god, I didn't know he has a windshield wiper. They kind of came out around at the same time. I mean, Macross and Gundam. I don't know what Robotech is. I never heard of Robotech. Yeah, not a clue what this I don't know what this Robotech you speak of, but I am quite familiar with Macross. I'm a huge Super Dimension Fortress Macross fan. Never heard of Robotech. Hey, what's up? They never said it would be easy, just worth the entertainment. Good to see you. Yeah, we're just I was just doing some touch up on my broken Gundam. I was showing off my flagship that I attached some brass rod antennas to. And we're going to briefly talk with James about the superstition of radio. Yeah, they're like cargo planes that are nuclear powered. The Xeon side of the war in Gundam, the 1 year war, they deployed a shit ton of these. And they can use them for attack. They can use them as like flying aircraft carriers like you see over here. But yeah, so that channel was Lucy 3D CG World. And because they did seemingly nice work, I'll subscribe to them too. Oh, Klobby's still on. I didn't know he's still on. But anyway, so yeah, that's what's good. So about radio, so, you know, it's, oh, and I start to flash my Blu-ray. I never flashed my Blu-ray drive. So I said I was going to flash my Blu-ray drive. Probably going to do that off stream because my room is getting really hot because I left the video encoder running. But, you know, we're imaging this open star cluster. I wish I switched the filter over. No. Robotech is not the same thing as Macross. Robotech is the bastardization thereof. It is the one where you only get 2 songs from Lin Minmay. Whereas in Macross, Lin Minmay sings like a dozen songs. But in Robotech, she sings like that song, which, I mean, is catchy. I think it's called My Time to Be a Star. And then she sings that other song, which I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it'll come up. But, I mean, look, people, I think Robotech brought the Macross franchise to the Americas, so people in our, you know, in our side of the world can enjoy it. So I guess I can give it credit there. The problem is Harmony Gold, they are a bunch of fucking patent trolls. Harmony Gold, like, they have as much in the way of real estate holdings as they do in terms of, like, you know, cartoon holdings. And what they do is, like, every few years, right when the patent for Macross is about to expire, or Robotech is going to expire, they release something so that they can't, because the thing is that you'd think that Harmony Gold would be playing ball with, what's the company that makes Macross? The Japanese company that makes Macross. You'd think Sony or whatever it is, they would play ball, they'd be nice to them. But no, apparently it was a big mistake for Sony to let Harmony Gold produce Macross in the Americas. Because now, whenever they want to release any Macross stuff, anytime the Japanese want to release any Macross stuff in America, they get slapped with, like, roadblocks, legal roadblocks. They just had a court settlement like a year or 2 ago that was supposed to solve the issue. And you can look it up. They're like, oh, yeah, it's good. They're going to release Macross in America now. And it was like, yeah, they're going to come out with Macross 7. They're going to come out with Macross Frontier. But then it's not that Harmony Gold reneged on the agreement. It's that Harmony Gold, basically hid behind legal language. They were like, oh, no, we agreed to do this. We didn't agree to do that. But it's like everyone thought that's what they agreed to do. And they're just like, oh, no. We agreed to do the other thing. We never said that we would let this happen. And, agree. Man, let's see. I'm going to look it up on Google real quick. So, like, right here, like, it says, like, this bullshit here. This is a post from fucking 2021. 5 months ago. Harmony Gold announces continued prohibition of Macross in the U.S. Oh, God. That's even funnier. Because I knew this was the case, like, months before this. So, okay, what happened was, like, a while ago. Like, there was, like, a post and a tweet and a bunch of shit that said that, like, oh, they're going to release Macross in America now. These motherfuckers. Look. Like, they're saying it right here. Certain Macross sequels, such as Do You Remember Love? The one I had to buy, I have it right here. I had to buy a Japanese version and add my own subtitles to the fucking thing. I have it right here. That's what I had to do. Certain Macross sequels, such as Do You Remember Love? And any future sequel containing shared characters, mecha, and or storyline are currently prohibited. And this is all because the Japanese made the mistake of fucking letting these assholes at Harmony Gold do stuff. You know, like, I mean, like, it's like, you damn well know who originated the characters. It's not like this situation where you have to protect your intellectual property or else you give it up. It's like, they're somehow entitled to it legally, but it's like they're really doing this on fucking ice that's just thick enough to allow this. And person goes, why is this prohibited? And he goes, they have a legal agreement. It is part of the terms that they couldn't agree to distribution rights for that era. What? Sounds like a very one-sided agreement. Yeah, Harmony Gold exploited the shit out of it for a generation until it finally expired. Harmony Gold is not the good guys. Yeah, I know that. And it took a lot of effort on my part to stay silent when they honored the Harmony Gold chairman's passing. That being said, I know folks on the staff who are good and honest people who love Robotech and want to continue the honest legacy for Robotech without interfering with the original Macross. Tommy is an amazing person who has worked tirelessly to that. Okay, let's see. Well, they're assholes. And this guy goes, nobody cares about the Robotech besides Macross. And that stuff that's always pushed about Robotech is always just the Macross stuff. At this point, the Western fan base of Macross is way bigger and way more relevant. And this guy's like, just not true. Well, I'm with this guy here, even if it's not true. The entire series has a huge following in South America, but I don't give a shit. I could do without Robotech. I wish Robotech was like vaporized from the surface of this planet, like just didn't exist, because it's like people in America are being deprived of like a shit ton of Macross. Okay, look, Macross 7. Wait, do you remember Love? Macross 7, Macross Frontier, Macross Delta. These are blocked here because of fucking Robotech. Pardon my French. I'm very passionate about this, obviously, and this is no disrespect to any friends in the chat. So anyway, my point in this, in conveying this very impassioned, statement, is to sort of try to help bring you up on the details, Jimmy. So I hope that helps a little bit. Harmony Gold was what? Hong Kong? But Hong Kong was prematurely annexed by China. No, Harmony Gold, as I understand it, is an American company. Or at least there's legal contracts in the U.S. that apply in the U.S. that are blocking the release of a lot of Macross content. Apparently, Sonny Bono is somewhat behind the lifetime copyright thing. I'm not up on the details. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's interesting, though. I wouldn't put it past Sonny Bono. I mean, he's interesting, but he could be mixed. Landmark agreement. Here we are. Official announcement on the Macross website. Landmark agreement between the anime companies will allow immediate international distribution of the most Macross sequels and films, while affirming Harmony Gold's rights to the Robotech franchise. So look, I get it. Like, they should be entitled to the rights to all of the stuff that they edited. So basically, they took the original source material from Macross. They dubbed it. They edited the video. They moved the video in and out of sequence. They've added clips from other anime franchises. And that's Robotech, basically. So it's not the original material. But somehow they're able to use the commonality of characters to block a release. In order to buy Robotech Macross, on Blu-ray, I had to buy a Chinese counterfeit. Not even a bootleg, a counterfeit, to get like a copy that was good. And basically what it was, a guy in China bought the Japanese Macross, added English and Chinese subtitles to it, and then sold it on eBay. And I'm like, thank goodness this guy did that work. But real quick, let's make sure we understand this. Both companies will cooperate on the international distribution of future Macross and Robotech projects post-2021. So what happened was, this Optimus News press release came out. And then this guy, like many of us, got falsely, incorrectly excited. Holy effing shit. If this actually means we can finally officially get Macross simulcast and merch in the West after decades, then woo. And no, the answer is no. The answer is just no, because they reneged. They didn't exactly renege on it, like I said, legalese. And I believe there's a company called Big West that might be the Japanese distributor. I don't know. So basically this says they're free to release everything except for the original Macross. So I think I see what they did here. Big West was free to release everything but the original Macross, which is still fucked up. And Do You Remember Love was excluded as well. So that's kind of a big deal, excluding Do You Remember Love, because it's a quality Macross movie. And then I think by extension, they were able to then say, oh, since there's characters that from this in the later ones. So, for example, Captain Max, Lieutenant Max from the original Macross, Maximilian Genus, he's the captain in Macross 7. So basically, I think by extension, they were like, oh, well, there's a character in both of these, so no. And yeah, unfortunately, they're forcing people to sail to high seas, but it's like, I wanted to buy it. And I did. I managed to buy one of these, but like I said, I had to bend over backwards to add my own subtitles to it in order to buy it. Interesting. Standalone Complex is the only thing remotely close to the feel. I did watch part of that Ghost in the Shell. So this is like a 2-year-old post, and a lot of people are going by the information in this 2-year-old post, thinking that like this is good news, and then it turns out it's like not the case, because like as I started reading into it myself, I started realizing like the dates were like sort of like being protracted to be indefinite. And then it says, at best, Crunchyroll and Harmony Gold want time to sell their Robotech Blu-rays before letting Big West sell SDF Macross disc. At worst, Crunchyroll and Harmony Gold will never allow it. I suspect it's that one, because for fuck's sake, we already got the press release that said, you know, good news. And then they're spitting in our eye, telling us it's raining. Every hotel got their cook chair. Licenses like Harmony Gold in the digital age simply love to use the Will Smith chair. Huh. I don't even know what that means, but it's funny. And yet, Harmony Gold is leeching off the Macross intellectual property like a vampire would, and they're getting away with it. They are cunts, and that's basically the story. And this is something I figured out on my own 6 months ago, which actually is around the same time as July, although I didn't see it here. But yeah, that's like the fact. That is the fact of the matter. How messed up is that? You know, I mean, so this is why, like, I have this strong anti-Robotech stance. It's not so much the Robotech itself and the people who worked on that. It's the company that owns it, the parent company, and how they've been, you know, holding up the intellectual property. So, James, I hope that clears up my position on the matter, and I think you understand that I meant it in the most respectful way. My anger. No, I'm kidding. But that's why I get mad uptight when I hear Robotech. I'm like, oh, those motherfuckers. It's like when people have family vendettas and they're like, oh, not those people again. So anyway, I'm about to wrap up. But if anybody has any questions, comments, ideas, suggestions, please let me know right now. And I will hear them out. Otherwise, I will return probably Saturday. Because I think tomorrow I got a bunch of shit to do. It sucks. I wish I didn't have a bunch of shit to do, but I got a bunch of stuff to do tomorrow. Hell, maybe I'll come back to stream in an hour. Probably not. I think we're gonna just relax after that. Right now, what I want to do is just get this telescope in focus here. I can't tell if it's in focus or out. Oh yeah, it's getting in focus now. Robotech might have been a game, also like a table. Well, they might have made a Robotech game at some point, but there is a Robotech game called Crystal Dreams, and there's one, I don't know if that's the same one as the one for N64. Me and Pop Culture Mechanic were talking about it on Monday, and Robotech for N64 was interesting because it kind of works, but it was also kind of buggy. And I remember playing the game, and there was like a lot of weird features in the game, like where you can look at a 3D model of a ship and rotate it and do maneuvers, but it was a little confusing. Faster. Oh yeah, I remember like they had something called Faster. It was a Star Trek game. I think you're mixing up FAFSA, the free application for financial student aid, with Faster. But Faster was a Star Trek thing, you're right. And so we can actually look that up. And this was a real game. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Star Trek, the role-playing game, also known as Faster. And it's a thing. Like, and there's actually like people will draw from the faster books in order to like show examples of like Starfleet ships, and even though it's like not 100% lore, they get a lot of their lore from this, especially before a lot of the books came out that were, you know, officially canonized. This is where people were getting a lot of this stuff. They were getting it from the faster books. Oh, well, that's different. The game for Xbox is... Oh, the game of interest. They had a faster game for Xbox? Wow. I played a game for, what is it called? PlayStation 2? And it might have been available for Xbox, called Star Trek Legacy. And it's got its ups and downs. But in general, it was kind of cool. You're in a semi-3D environment. You're essentially flying a starship in an orthographic view from the side. And you get to shoot phasers and photon torpedoes. You do the Xindi arc. You know, so that was kind of fun. So right here, we got a, not remotely perfect. So right here, we got a 60-second exposure. And if I'm remembering my settings correctly, I should be able to go here and pick this button here and get dark frame subtraction. Although it shouldn't really matter at this point. So we're going to take a dozen pictures in blue, then a dozen pictures in green, and then save them for stacking at a later date. Maybe do it sooner than later, I hope. I see, it might have been a Robotech game for Xbox. They did have a few. I saved a list in my eBay shopping cart the other day. I did. I saved a list in my eBay shopping cart. Okay, let's see if we can figure out this Blu-ray thing. So, I think, well, did I leave it open here? Let me make sure I don't have anything bad on my screen, like private information. Here we go. Okay, good. So, basically, I think I need to get this app first. So, I downloaded a zip file or something that came with everything that... I think it came with everything I need. So, this is the All You Need firmware pack, Marty McNuts. And they got slim external USB drives. Then you got a bunch of German firmware. It looks like it's German. It says DE, but it's got the model number of my Blu-ray drive. So my guess is that I'm supposed to use one of these binary files to flash my drive. And based on the information in the MKV Ripper, it's going to be the 16NS40 drive. So 16NS40 drive is right over here. And we're going to see what happens. So I don't think this pack came with the flasher. So we need the flasher. We need the tool. And it looks like I have to download the flasher here from UHDenabledrives.com. So this could be a website that was like taken down a while ago. Hello, welcome. If you have found my hobby place, if you're here after a UHD thing, this is the place to be. Okay, good. So apparently they got the... Okay, so you paid $25 for the flasher, which actually I'm kind of okay with. But I would still go and see if there's a bootleg somewhere. But this guy I think sells pre-flashed drives, which to be honest, I probably would have just bought the pre-flashed drive from here if I realized that's where I go for it. So basically tell it what type of drive. That's got to be as close to the drive that I need it to be. Looks like they're selling the firmware and the, you know, the flasher here. So my question is, this looks like the website where you would get the single flasher, but there's got to be a place I can go to get the flasher without buying it. I'm so stuck in the past, I want to finish Morrowind. I know what you mean. I kind of am the same way with a couple of games. Now, I don't know if I should be Googling the flasher like this, but Download. Okay, we did that. Go to unlock flashes. Most Pioneer drives come with firmware that prevent downgrading. Yeah, that's why I didn't buy the Pioneer drive. They were like advertising it as being the best, and I was like, eh. New GUI SDF tool, LG flasher. I just need the program. Like I say, I'm not trying to like go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs here. Yeah, what's up, Jim? What's your question? I gotta visit Phil's too. I'm gonna wrap this up right after I answer your question because I could do this while I'm doing the other thing. And if I succeed, I'll just make a recording of me doing this and edit it or something. So yeah, what's up? LG NS40. Okay, so I think that's the drive I have. I think I can download this entire zip file. Okay, so that's a sketchy website. They're like, yeah, we're Zippy shit. We don't exist anymore. I'm gonna buy the freaking thing, the $25 thing, I think. I mean, I'll probably do a little more Googling. You can see my eyes right now? Can you see my eyes like in the corner? Because I don't do anything to control my eyes when I'm sitting in the little view because I have the expectation that nobody can see my eyes. But to answer your question, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, a little bit of both. It could be the butt of many jokes at times. But the trick is, it's, what, strabismus. So strabismus, you have one weaker eye that is wandering. Some people call it a lazy eye, but it's technically strabismus. And so if I put a conscious effort in, I can keep both eyes on target like I'm doing right now. But if I like get sloppy or multitasking, or if I want to look at my right screen, suddenly now you see this eye doing this. And it doesn't help that I have two monitors and I'm probably like doing something I shouldn't be doing with my right eye. I should probably like try to coordinate and use both eyes at the same time. Even worse, if I take my right eye and I point it at the camera like this, my left eye looks like it's way out there. Like, so apparently like this one, when I give full control to this eye, this one just goes that way. And I got to double check which one's the weak eye, because the problem is when someone tells you that your right eye, your right eye is weak, I don't know if they mean my right or your right. So next time I go to an ophthalmologist, I have to find out. Now, it helps actually for me to have an updated prescription, because what happens is when the prescription between both eyes starts to drift and they're not the same prescription, it's more likely for the eye to wander. But if my prescriptions are up to date, it in a way pulls the eye in. So it's a minor curse. It's not a big curse, but it's a minor curse, not just from the visual part from outside, the way people would see me, but just the idea of depth perception, seeing in 3D. I have to like not struggle to see in 3D, but I have to make a conscious effort to use proper depth perception, especially when I'm doing like things up close like this. That's usually why I take off my glasses when I'm holding things close. I'd say it's not the worst thing. It's not a blessing. I don't think it's a blessing. Yeah, I don't think it's a blessing, but it's not the worst thing either, you know, like one interesting thing is that I think I'm better equipped to judge distances without using both eyes, because a lot of people, like my dad one time, like got a metal object in his eye and he had to drive for a week with an eye patch on, and he said he was surprised at how much harder it was for him to drive with just one eye because of the lack of, you know, convergence or depth perception, the ability to measure distances with your eyes. You're right, lizards do it. My turtles, they have eyes on either side of the head. They have very bad depth perception, especially up close. Fish, they kind of, you know, usually just they're using their separate eyes to see like this way and this way. They're not really using it to get convergence. They're using it just to get more surround vision, you know? So, yeah, I hope that answers the question. A few weeks ago, someone was like, I was in their chat and they tuned into my channel, and this guy's a mad lad from New Zealand. And he's like, oh, yeah, DJ Ronnie G's kind of got a lazy eye, but yeah, he owns it. And I'm like, this motherfucker. But anyway, like, yeah, so that's how that works. Congratulations, you are an elite hacker now. Okay, so I skipped to the part. A patched MK flasher is here, but we saw that website is down. Wait, is it down? I'm mixing up my websites here. Oh, no, this is like in a different language. This is Polish. I feel like I could trust this website. But ZippyShare is down, so I'll have to do some exploration. So anyway, I hope that answers the question. And beyond that, I'm gonna continue to do some astronomy, check out some of the other great content creators on YouTube. I'm gonna go get myself a snack first. And first I want to find my telescope. I got too many things open, I think. Oh, that's why the connection was sluggish. I had 2 VNCs opened. Alright, let's see how it looks now. Alright, so good. We'll let it take a few pictures. Yeah, it says 13. We'll let it take 14 pictures because I don't want an unlucky number. You know what? I'm going to switch to the green filter right now so I can go to the bathroom. So anyway, for anybody who's tuning in on the replay, I want to thank you for tuning in. You know, as usual, if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. All I'm doing is dialing in my motorized focuser. Oh, I almost forgot something. Oh boy. I got good news and bad news. Good news is the motorized focuser is working. The bad news is that I have to go outside now, because what happens is now when I click on the button over here, it takes like 30 seconds for the button to come back to life. So in other words, I can't even use the motorized focuser like with ease until I can like go outside, unplug it, and plug the damn thing back in. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up for real now. So yeah, for anybody tuning in on the replay, if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. I want to thank James and Lady Mist. I want to thank for Never Said It Would Be Easy, but Just Worth It Entertainment. David Glenn, Chaos for You. Check out Chaos for You. I'll see if I can leave a, let's see if his chat command works yet. All right, I'll have to investigate why the Stream Elements bot is selective about doing the things I ask it to do. Well, with that being said, once again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we shall now end transmission.